Hi, guys. Welcome back to Bridging the Gap. Thank you for being here. And today's episode is about the toxins in your kitchen, cookware, and more. And we've been covering toxins for many different things. And this is, I think, episode 5 or something of the series. And today, Mike and Sahan are here to help me have this conversation. Sahan, I think you're muted, by the way. Um, So thank you for being here to talk with me about the subject, both of you.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Thanks for
Um,
having us.
yeah. Please, everyone, like, share, and subscribe. Heal on Rumble, on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever. If you like our content. And I'm going to start off with saying this Friday we have an event coming up. It's a free event in Levittown, in our Levittown location, and it is going into um, the same information, but instead of doing the detail, it's going to be more practical stuff, and we'll probably have some therapy recommendations or treatment recommendations and some options for some opportunities for you to get discounts or something like that or offerings if you are there in person. So we would love to see you there. So today I'm going to give me 1 second. There we go. We're talking about aluminum cookware, aluminum foil, and plastic wrap. Hopefully, I can pause this guy, or we will switch to another slide because he looks crazy. And can you understand why aluminum foil will make you crazy?
Hmm.
Neurotoxin. So, what we're going to talk about is what's in the cookware, what's in your kitchen. Um, Here it says aluminum. We have plastic wrap. We've already covered microplastics. I think in the first episode, guys, you guys were there with me, right? We covered
hmm
microplastics in the first episode and how it just sits there in your body, specifically in your brain. And um, aluminum foil we're going to cover today. We have PFAs, PFOAs, and PTFEs, I think they're called. They're all versions of fluorocarbons that are in your non-stick cookware, Teflon. PFTE is Teflon. Um, you'll have PFAs and PFOAs in wrappers. For example, if you buy a burrito at the Wawa or some store, excuse me, it's in a wrapper. And it may be a paper wrapper, but then it's lined on the inside to keep the food that's in there fresh and from leaking out and going bad. But it's lined with these chemicals. Um, and then we, like I said, we have foil. Look at this guy's chomping on foil because that's what we do all day long. Ugh, aluminum. Even your soda can has aluminum in it. Everything. I think even cookware these days, there's aluminum pans, aluminum everything. And then we got plastic packaging. And plastic also has phthalates and BPAs in PFAs. Okay, so we've talked about all these things in all these different podcasts that we've already done. But here we're going to just remind you where they're located because they're in your kitchen. You're eating them up every day. So let's talk about PFAs, right? That's the non-toxic. That's the stuff. The reason they use PFAs, and I think this is in one of the articles, the second article, but we're going to go through the article one at a time. But the PFAs they're used because they're resistant to oils and water. So, and they're non-stick. So they line your pans. Okay, we'll look at it. It says endocrine disruptor, cancer risk, and we'll talk about health issues. Aluminum foil, and it's a neurotoxin. And and it accumulates in your body. You can only get rid of a small amount. Okay. And then plastic wrap, it literally, you cannot do anything with plastic. It just sits there and it messes up again. It's endocrine, it's probably, disrupts, it disrupts your reproductive and metabolic, causes metabolic issues. So this, again, it's a endocrine disruptor as well. So let's go over some of the, were you guys aware of this stuff before
I
we
mean,
even start talking about this?
like, I guess I had an understanding, like, before I got into this healthy lifestyle, that since it was covered with something that was non-stick, it should have, like, contained something.
Hmm.
So, like, that was my understanding.
So when you guys go to Starbucks and you drink a cup of coffee at Starbucks, you realize that every time you're drinking this stuff, and I mean, how much awareness is there out there in the general public that when you go outside and you buy something, it doesn't matter. Any fast food place, from Wawa, from Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, I don't care how healthy they claim it is. Even if you go in a grocery store and you buy vegetables that have plastic and stuff on it, right? How much do you understand that it's aligned with the stuff? So every day when you're eating the foods, you're like, oh, a plate of veggies and some aluminum, you know, or plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this series, I have to be honest, alone for me has been eye opening just for me too. Not that I didn't know what was in the kitchen, I knew that. I said the clothing one was like, for me, it was mind blowing. But the more I do it, the more I, it like sinks in my brain that I maybe haven't even done enough to clear up all the stuff in my house, right? How clean do you think your guys' houses are? Of the food, all these chemicals in your environment.
I mean, we're still using the foil even today. Like,
Yeah.
haven't really made that switch over, and
Yeah.
I think it's kind of
Yeah.
hard for everybody because how convenient it
Yeah, that is a problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
You
is. Yeah,
guys
because
use
you
foil
can't.
too.
What's another thing
Just,
you can just rip off and not have to clean, and then you can just throw in the trash right after you're done with it. There's probably nothing else that's close to and is not bad for you.
now, when I was reading this, I was thinking about, can you use parchment paper in air fryer?
Yeah,
The
I looked
the
that up too.
the plant-based one.
You can. Parchment paper, I've already tried it in the air fryer.
I think you
You
have to
can.
use unbleached,
Yeah.
but I didn't find like even from the ones I looked at, the unbleached also still had like some type of plastic
Hmm.
lining to it. So I don't know if I haven't heard of the plant based one, but I guess if the plant based is able to do it without any sort of lining, then that's definitely a really good thing for people who like to bake.
Hmm.
But also, I feel like if you can find one, like some people buy the parchment paper because of that like plastic lining because it helps not stick to whatever surface. But I guess if you just use
Mm.
oil with just a straight parchment paper without any additives on it, then that should probably work.
Well, it's not just oil. I think in this country, in India, you'd use ghee or something like that,
Yeah, just to
because
line the outsides of whatever pan you're using, so it's not gonna stick.
right.
And
But
usually
I
that
think
works.
yeah, but in this country, the better option is what is it called? Beef tallow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I think there's better properties to those two types of fats than regular oil. I don't know why, but I think the reason I'm thinking about this is because you would want to put parchment paper down for baking or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, because otherwise, why not put it on a grill type surface, right? So if you're trying to bake something or to put a pastry or something, then you would that's the only time you would put something on the parchment paper. And most of the time, people use either tallow or ghee or something on it. Is you don't want to put like regular oil because a lot of oils have problems and trans fats, and that's a whole other subject, you know.
Yeah.
But and in the old days, that's what they did. Why they picked that specific type of fat, I don't know because I'm not a chef, but they picked that specific type of fat for baking and doing things like that.
Mm, does it have any like high heat properties? Maybe.
Yeah, sure. Ghee is the most saturated fat you can get. That I'm aware.
Yeah.
So that keeps it. First, it makes it very healthy for you to consume. Tallow, I don't know. Sahan, you might know better about tallow.
It's just fat. So like if anyone's ever cooked with fat, it's like pretty much the same thing. It's just instead of
Like melted and then solidified, right?
yeah, melted, solidified, and it really has no like distinct meaty taste or flavor. Some can, but if you buy it like in the jar, it really is like a really neutral flavor. And um, I don't know. I think it's a good source. You're definitely getting nutrients from it from the animal fat, and animal fat can like take up to really extreme heats without losing a lot of or turning into a lot of things chemically bad. Like I know some oils you cannot heat after a certain point because you lose a lot of nutrient property, but I think tallow um, kind of stays the same regardless of how high you heat
Mm.
it up.
So it makes sense why they would use these two specific types of oils in the past for the old days for using. But now you use all kinds of things, right? People don't even know what's the right thing to use. Um, that makes sense.
And I guess
So
it's the closest to like a food source you would eat. Like a lot of you think of like all the uh, vegetable oils or things like that. If you had a whole foods diet, you wouldn't be taking a shot of like uh, vegetable oil or something.
Yeah.
You don't drizzle vegetable oil on your food. You drizzle olive oil on your food. So I think that
mm,
also plays a part why tallow is good because it's just something that anyone would eat. You eat the piece of fat that's rendered on a steak. It's no different than that.
Yeah.
don't they make soap from tallow? Soap and
They make like
other
skin. They make skincare
things?
Yeah.
products
Yeah. I've
from
seen that.
tallow. Not. I don't know. I don't know about soap. They probably
Mm.
could infuse it a bit, but it's more for uh like oiling the skin. Same as you would use a uh I don't know like a yeah like a oil for your skin. It's the same thing pretty much
Yeah.
to
And
moisturize
in,
and put like a little barrier up.
Yeah.
in India, we use ghee for that same purpose. Like if you make ghee, you can rub it on your hands and use it for moisture too. So it makes sense that both of the fats you would use for similar things. So, I mean, what do you use in Georgia? Anything different?
Mm. I guess we use like animal fat mostly.
Same thing, right? Tallow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tallow or lard
Like
probably.
I also seen that
Lard.
in a like remedy. What is it called? I don't lotion type of thing. Like, but it's like more fatty. So if you
Mm.
had a wound or like burning, you just apply it.
Ah,
Like
okay.
petroleum jelly, like
Yeah, yeah,
Vaseline or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Like it was like Vaseline type of texture.
Wow. Huh. Did not know that. That's good to know. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so, okay, let's go over some of these articles, right? Zon, are you taking the first one?
Yeah, so
Or,
this article was by Dordovich, and what they pretty much wanted to do with this study was see how transferable the aluminum foil is, or sorry, the aluminum content of the foil into uh the food that you're consuming. And did I cut out a little bit, or could you guys hear me?
no, I heard
Yeah.
you.
Okay. So, their research question that they uh, asked was the research
You
question asked, does aluminum migrate from aluminum foil into food during baking? And do factors such as food type, the marinade that you're using, the foil type, the food composition, and if the food that you're baking has skin or no skin, affect the transfer of aluminum to it. So, what they actually found was there was significant difference when they used mackerel, and mackerel had almost about like 20 times increase in aluminum content after uh, they had baked it, and they baked it at roughly around like 220 degrees, so uh, fairly hot. And they also noted that the fact that including a marinade definitely um, contributed to even more transfer of aluminum. So it actually really matters like what type of food you're using aluminum to bake with, as well as if you're using any um, uh, dense like seasonings or marinades that may um, trigger other reactions that allow the aluminum to leach further into the food. And the amount is like pretty concerning because it increased like in some foods up to 61 times the aluminum content from beforehand. And they use pretty, I would say they use like pretty high level testing to figure out the amounts because they use like a an X-ray spectroscopy to really find all of the trace amounts that were in there. So they had pretty good analysis of how much was in there before and after because they're using some pretty high tech equipment.
and so talking about aluminum and its toxicity, right? It's neurotoxic, Alzheimer's. It's it, people with Alzheimer's have shown aluminum in their body, right? In their brains, more likely. Um, Let me see, just give you a little bit of an idea. Or city world, um,
Am I lagging?
Yeah, I think you're cutting out for me too.
and aluminum. I think maybe it's that way for everybody.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Okay, so our bodies only excrete 0.1% of the aluminum. So when you're eating it, you can have chronic or high exposure and can lead to accumulation in bones, brain, and other tissue. And you can have bone disorders, osteomalachi, microcystic anemia, sorry. And then the neurological effects are the Alzheimer's, uh, and encephalopathy. It's seen in dialysis patients with very high exposure, developmental neurotoxicity. So there's a lot of it's not good for, imagine if you're a child and you're taking this aluminum content in and your brains are developing, you know,
Yeah.
uh, and this can be a real problem for children growing up. I mean, these days they find that children have less and less gray matter. That's a gray matter that you use that has all your important stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
part of it's linked to cell phone usage, but which I think we covered some things on cell phone. And but I mean, what's to say that it doesn't contribute to all these neurotoxic chemicals we're taking in too, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this is
definitely.
crazy.
And you don't even know about half of these things. And if you're a kid, then you're probably the most vulnerable because you have no decision over what's happening. It's just
Yeah,
based on your parents, pretty much. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
We,
most parents like don't have this education, and kids are like automatically, I don't know, kind of on a bad way already, bad path, by
yeah,
consuming something that they have no knowledge of.
yeah. There's you won't believe it, but a lot of people just don't know better, and you would think that when you get in your like 20s and years of like early adulthood that maybe you try to make some better decisions, but a lot of people have just never thought of the idea of um, certain things that have been like staples in their life being so harmful to them that they even carry the same bad misconceptions all the way into like their late 20s. I know some people that still eat Wawa every day for lunch are eating Uncrustables at like I don't know 20, 25, 26, and I'm just feel so bad because they've probably been doing that for a while, and it's just not good in the long run.
yeah. If you think about it, what happens? So when you have kids and you're a parent, and maybe you have more than one kid, one child, and they're young, and you're trying to get stuff done, and you've got a cranky child or demanding child, I guess. Imagine if you're at a store or something like that, and they're like, "Mommy, mommy, I want that candy." That's what they're always going for. Excuse me. Now think about it. I think a lot of candy wrappers, inside of them, you can see they have aluminum in there, right? They're
Yeah,
lined,
almost
and
every chocolate bar you can find probably is aligned with it.
yeah, besides the fact that it's sugar, which is also already toxic, having too much sugar, it messes up your blood sugar and many other things. And then obviously it's coated. We'll see that a lot of these, even if it's aluminum in there, it's also coated with plastics and PFAs and other things in there. And now your kid's not behaving, and you know that chocolate bar is not good, or that Sour Patch Kids is not good for them, filled with dyes and all kinds of stuff. But what do you do as a parent that when you have a kid and you're just trying to collect all the items, you're tired, you worked all day, you're trying to collect all the items, put them in the grocery cart and check out and go home, you know? And you're taking your kid with you and your kid's crying, complaining, whatever, mom, I want this, or, or crying, whatever. The easiest thing for a parent to do is say, give them what they want, and the kids don't know any better. And what does a tired parent does the easiest thing. And the thing is, it's too easy in this day and age to just hand the kid the chocolate bar. Easy to hand the kid the soda can. Give Easy to hand the kid some candy.
iPad.
Oh, that too.
Hmm.
That too. Oh, another toxic substance.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah, that is
Hmm.
probably one of the worst case scenarios
Hmm.
for your kids not. But that's a reality because say if your kid's not playing a sport, then there there's not many other. I'm well, I guess that's just from what I've seen. There definitely are other options, but nothing really gonna get them outside.
Yeah, you're right about that. And that's a good point that you make, because as a solution, which will be a healthier option, especially for children, because in this whole series, we've been talking about how children are impacted. We never really talked about what are the best ways for children, and that is to be outside. For kids to be outside, kids to be playing, so their brains are developing well, their body is working well to detoxify itself the best it can, and that's the best defense it has against toxins and things like that, right? But then also um, the thing is that if you remember, Sahan, that when you were running, you were playing soccer, you were on a club team, and you would eat better, so you knew that you were like there was a lot of girls on Karina's team, soccer team, who would eat donuts right before a game and then throw up on the sidelines. Eat hot dogs in between their games because if they're at a tournament, they're eating hot dogs between the
Yeah,
game
because
and then they're
that's what they're
throwing up.
selling at the that's what the vendors are selling, and it's like the worst. And I guess they're selling it for the parents, but the kids are the ones that are gonna gravitate towards those things and eat them more than the parents probably would.
Yeah,
And I don't know, I feel like even now looking back at it, it uh it really makes a difference on like your performance and how much better you're gonna get too. Like I think 90% of like playing sports is all about your preparation, especially how you perform the day of the game. And a lot of kids think it's like out of their control, or maybe today was just not my day. Sometimes that's how it is, but you can really be on your A game and feel really good if you're doing all the right things.
mhm,
And that's not going and getting hot dogs. It's having a little snack that maybe has some good carbs to it that uh, is really easy to digest, and you can go play. And if you're outside all the time already, then you shouldn't struggle having all these issues, feeling lethargic, feeling tired, because that's another thing that I saw a lot is, especially in high school soccer, kids were so drained and so tired by the end of the day that their performance in the games went down just because of how long we're inside a school sitting, um, looking at these blue light screens all day every day for
really.
8 hours a day.
Wow, I didn't know that, but yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. But you remember when you were eating all the crap and you actually were drinking soda a lot, and then Mike, what I did was I told his trainer, Samir. I said, Samir, I'm having a problem. I'm trying to get Sahan off all this soda and stuff, but he's still doing it. And he says, "Don't worry." And I didn't tell him in front of Sahan. I told him before before we got to the private training, and he goes, "Sahan, how you doing?" And he'll get him to do a few moves. Go ahead, run with the ball. And then even if he's doing fine, he'll make a comment and go, "What's going on today? What did you eat? What did you drink? Looks like you're having too much sugar or something." And you know what? If kids don't listen to parents, that's fine. If they have somebody they look up to and they trust and respect, right? If that person says something to them, it will change everything. It did that for Sahan. It did that for Karina. What a change after that, Sahan. I mean, that was a moment for you.
Yeah, I stopped. That was probably the first time I committed to no sugar for like the first time, I guess, in my life. And I did probably around for like 3 months. And after that, my craving for soda had like gone out the window. I never craved for like a regular um, Coke can like ever again because I drank it and I could taste that very sugary syrup flavor, and the taste was way different than when I had been like constantly drinking it. Yeah, started
And
changing right after that.
and that's great because that means you got rid of the aluminum from the soda cans that were leaching because of soda, which is an acid. So a lot of times you have to, when it comes to, you were talking about your paper and how we have up to 40 times increase in aluminum levels in our body, and they think that's okay. They mark
So
that as okay.
what they did was they didn't find how much they didn't do the test on humans, so they just did the test in the food. So we can't really say that it increased 40 times in the body because you don't know how much got absorbed, but the food that you're eating, from before it's baked and from after,
Yeah.
some of the fish had like that 40 times amount. So it's not what's showing up in the person, but that's 40 times amount more that you're consuming.
Well, in the article, they were talking about how much change on the beginning of part of the article. I think about, I think it's 1 milligram per kilogram of human that is now being taken in. Did you read that part?
Yeah. It's from in it says from in Europe it's from 0.6 to 1.5, and here
Mhm.
it's from 1.5 to 13 or something. It was like crazy number. I remember.
Crazy. Yeah.
But was
And
it
you're
in the
eating it.
humans or in the
In
food?
a hum in the
And
humans.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
this article, the Dora
Toward the
Beach one
beach, yeah.
It's
only
the
did
same it's
just
the
food.
same article. It's the only aluminum article we had. I think you might have missed it. It was just the small section in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
But also, if you're putting it in your, if it's in your food, it's going in your body. So, but and then it's only 0.1% that your kidneys actually can process. So the rest of it sits in your body.
Yeah, we can't even absorb aluminum as a metal.
No,
Can't use it for nothing.
no, and it sits in your bones and brain and specific organs, and it causes this kind of issue that this guy's having over here. You know, that's what happens. That's what happens. Don't
Well,
just think about it.
Um,
Everybody who's eating aluminum, this is what's gonna happen to you.
nah,
all right,
I think it
so
might be. Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna
Please go
say
to the next article.
I found the thing in the article.
Mhm.
So the thing it says is the found aluminum contents are not alarming. It says, but estimated dietary exposure to aluminum in various countries in between 1.3 milligrams a day to 13 milligrams a day, while in European countries it is from 1.6 to 13 milligrams a day.
Mhm.
And these data are indicating that dietary aluminum exposure is from zero point 0.2 to 1.5 milligram per kilogram of body mass.
That's the like allowed amount, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. They didn't find how much aluminum was transferred into the humans, but from a dietary perspective, you should not be eating any more than
yeah,
what's the number 2 point.
13.
So
13 milligrams is max, and they found some of them, like I think duck, and some had like 40 milligrams or something after
yeah,
cook.
they had the duck with no skin had 45 milligrams per kilogram
Mhm.
of duck. So that's definitely going to put you in the higher amount. And then if you count out all the other foods that you're probably
Yeah,
consuming that have these trace amounts of aluminum here and there from packaging or whatnot, you're probably just adding to that overall number.
Okay. All right, let's move to the next article. Though I don't know why. Please, I I don't have these exact articles. Did you guys look up these exact? I have two other articles.
yeah.
What is the articles that you guys have?
So I have the Pizzorno. I got Pizzorno's one, and the other guy's Passioni.
Oh, you did read those? Because I have Saeed and Ilias and Carnero. Go ahead. You talk about yours, and I'll talk about the two I have. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I guess this Passioni next one. It kind of goes off the topic, and the title was Risk Assessment of Using Aluminum Foil in Food Preparation.
Mm,
So basically, they they did like same type of experiment. They were baking a specific temperature, 250 Celsius, for like 20 minutes, and baking like different stuff, like previous study did. But their goal, I guess, was like the author in the end is just getting different study numbers and saying that whatever World Health Organization had limit in the past and were saying for the same type of things that, like, let's say the World Health Organization did a study in the past. They said this prep food contained this amount of aluminum, and after the study, author comes to the conclusion that whole thing is wrong and it's way more than what World Health Organization was claiming.
Wow. So when you talk about the first article that's not giving you enough information, the second one tells you it's way more.
Yeah,
So they're
it's
saying what the these like established organizations have been reporting
mm,
are not consistent with what
yeah,
people are doing the tests themselves.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, all the articles that I have also said there's not enough studies that they're doing and they should be looking at things. I mean, this is a case with any of the other slides and presentations we already did, even for clothing and other toxins, where they keep saying that they're not the industry standards are not good because they haven't been reviewed properly and there's not enough information. So,
yeah. So I guess, yeah, this study just comes to the same conclusion that says that, like, cooking with aluminum causes leaching from the foil to into food solutions, and it doesn't matter if it's liquid or vapor phase. And it says like aluminum foil is like easy channel to for metal to enter into a human body, basically, if it's used during cooking. And also, some people might raise the temperature, so the higher the temperature, easier it leaches into our foods. And it also basically giving out the knowledge how, like, pH value and acidity of the food matters when using aluminum. And also, it says that it is possible the excessive consumption of the food baked with aluminum may carry a serious health risks.
mhm.
Yeah, because I guess when you're using a marinade, especially if it's something acidic,
Yeah,
it's probably definitely allowing more free transfer of aluminum into whatever food that you're eating, and then mix all of that acidity or increase in pH with temperature change and heat is
yeah,
probably the perfect way to um, leach some aluminum into your food.
yeah. And also, salt and spices can also increase that. And everything and every seasoning today has like high amounts of sodium.
Mhm.
So there goes your chemical reaction.
How about fats? Did that come into play here? Fats?
So skin, uh, I guess not. It didn't really talk about fats, but more about like if the food had skin on it or not.
Yeah,
The skin actually, uh, and if you kind of think about it, it makes sense. Or like even human skin or the skin of any animal is really absorbent to whatever you kind of put on it. And the same thing, I guess, happens when even if the animal uh, is dead and we're cooking, because it's in, increasing the amount of aluminum in there after heating it up. So I guess what I'm just trying to say is skin is really absorbent, um, and with the aluminum, a lot more transfer can happen into the food.
So like when you cook food and you cover it in with aluminum and when you open up, like say a lot of people they use it during Thanksgiving and they're cooking a turkey and they'll put
yeah,
aluminum foil in there and you pull the aluminum back. You see how inside now the aluminum always looks different color. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So obviously it changed consistency or property, right? As a metal, it changed. So what happened to what it looked like before, and what changes happened? You know what I mean? It's visible and it's obvious that something changed. It's not the same thing as that you put on top. And then what did it do? Because then all the moisture gets stuck inside. That's what aluminum foil is used for, right? To keep the moisture in. And then the moisture runs down right into your food.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let me go with an article here because I'm going to go with I had a Carnero et al. And it's the presence of perfluoroalkyl and perfluoroalkyl substances. So there are PFAs in food contact materials. So this article talks about, um, the PFAs and the different places that they have food contacts, and that is, on paper or cardboard substances. They will line it with this PFAs, and so there are different versions. People think there's only one type of PFA, but there's lots of, and I think it's kind of what maybe the next Bizarno article says. There's 906, I think, chemicals that migrate from. Well, that's plastics, but I think there was something similar number here, 400 or something. I don't know, and types of PFAs, and there's people don't do studies on all these different types, but they're all lined in different places. And the reason they're used to make things non-stick, there's PFAs, there's PTFEs, and they line the cookware because it's resistant to water and oil. And it's a lot of these things are forever chemicals, and that means you can't get rid of them. Okay. And so they line the nonstick, and they say that it's stable at very high heats. But when you put food in there, and you got fats, you've got salts, you got acids, and you got high heat. We do put more high heat than is probably, and over time you keep heating, it's going to leach into your food. So these things go on, and this is why they use it, okay, because of its stability at high heat. And then it's used on things like popcorn bags. That's one of the biggest places that they find this, is in the lining of popcorn bag. And then you stick it in a microwave oven, and you add heat to it, right? And there's salt in there, and there's fat in there. So, and then you're eating this, and you wonder why you have a stomach ache after. Um, so, as you guys were saying, baking paper has it. Plates, non-stick cookware, frying pans, and it migrates from these materials, and it goes into your food. And it says migration from these materials into food is documented and is favored by high temperatures, fatty or acidic foods, emulsified fats, shorter chain PFA compounds, and repeat use of the item. And the more you use it, the more the migration happens from reheating and reheating. Excuse me. So how many times we heat pans, right? We use the same pan again and again and again. We don't change pans. We buy them so they last, right? And we don't think about these things going in there. Um, and these things, again, they're forever chemicals. So it's not like our body uses it for anything good. And let me see. Then the long chain PFAs have been restricted, but the problem is they use different versions. So say the company goes and, all right, so this type of long chain PFA was found to be toxic, and now we are not going to use it. So what this paper was saying is they've created so many other versions of it, and these newer versions are still toxic and may have other worse effects than the ones you started with. So this is what this article that I'm talking about. So let me just go over what Teflon does. Okay, it Teflon um, degrades at high temperatures release polymer fumes. So when you heat it, it off gases, okay? And it can give you temporary flu-like illnesses with fevers, chills, headaches, bodies, cough, tightness, okay? And birds can die from this. So these things can off gas, and these particles or flakes you can get from damage from the coatings, and it causes it's chemically inert, but it damages your gastrointestinal tract, and it gives you low acute toxicity. Let's see what else. They're forever chemicals, like I said, and they affect your blood, your liver, your kidneys, and they're very so clear. Increases cholesterol levels and lipid disruptions, affects your liver, elevated liver enzymes and hepatotoxicity. It impacts your immune system impairment, affects your antibodies, increase in infection and susceptibility, affects your thyroid hormone and causes disruption, affects your reproductive organs and causes low birth weight, delayed puberty, infertility, pregnancy-related hypertension, increased risk of certain cancers, kidney cancer, testicular cancer, breast cancer. It's carcinogenic, causes obesity and neurodevelopmental effects. Just a few things, guys. Just a few things. So,
Yeah, it seems like all the major organs kind of got ticked off. You got they ticked off all the boxes. You got they you said stuff about reproductive health. You said stuff with the liver. So I'm guessing since it's called forever chemicals, these um, meaning they're not going to break down for a very very long time, and either uh, I guess the only way for your body to get rid of it is through whatever systems it has in place through the organs. And I guess if you're like taking all of this chemical load, it's definitely filling up um, all of your drainage systems, your lymph nodes, your liver, which is also another spot for detoxification um, and waste removal. And it's just kind of clogging up all of these systems so that when you actually do get sick and need um, your immune system to respond correctly, it's handling so much already because of the toxins that you have accumulated that now when something minor comes around, you're probably hypersensitive to it because your body has too many things to deal with that it just can't handle it anymore. Slowly and slowly, you just start to degrade.
that's for sure. I mean, we've kind of pretty much covered 3 articles already, right?
Yeah.
Because we can cover a little bit of plastic, but I want to say, like, if we were building on this whole um, series that we've talked about, right? We talked about aluminum in your deodorant when we first started. It was the first podcast. And then things like parabens and phthalates in your um, skincare products, right? That was the very first one. So you're getting all these things already through your skin. You're absorbing them through your skin. Then the second one, let me see, what was the second one? Let's see if we can go back.
Wi-Fi,
Huh? Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi and EMFs, I think.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's Wi-Fi and EMFs. So then with that, we've got leaky gut and leaky brain. Though it's not a chemical we're putting in our body, but we had uh, the Wi-Fi causing leaky gut and leaky brain. So these chemicals are already disrupting your gastric tract. And then we've got the Wi-Fi, and then after that, it was the clothing, and the clothing had um, PFAs, uh, VOCs, formaldehydes. It had lead in the dyes. It had cadmium and mercury they use for dyeing things, and you're absorbing that all through your skin. Okay, and then last week was the chemicals from the off gassing your furniture, your carpet, and then the fibers. And you spend 90% of your time these days indoors. And basically, you're off gas, so you're breathing it in, you're getting it by contact. So, is there, and then now today we're doing cookware, we're eating the stuff. Like it's just building, and it's just like this whole series is mind blowing. Like we're getting it in every way, in every aspect in our body, on our body, in our through our mouth, through our nose, inhaling and breathing it in. This is crazy, you know? Like what's left? I mean, we're just keep adding. We still have more to go. We're not done yet in this series, but this is a lot of toxin. How do this is crazy. That's what I
Yeah,
feel. This is like so crazy living
and
a
a lot
life
of
like
it
this.
is like whether you like it or not, it's like unavoidable. A lot of it is avoidable, and that's why we like to talk about it. But uh, sometimes you really have to go to extreme measures if you want to make a difference. And for people who are sick, it definitely will make the world for them if they make those changes, whether it's to relocate or take whatever measures they can to change their life. Because some people are, you know, living next to these power plants, living next to um, all these crazy industrial plants. And it's
Mhm.
just unfortunate for them.
Yeah, and even just on daily life, if we don't live there, we have to live more off the land, and we have to find a way to do a local CSA um, for this kind of subject. And Mike, you can talk about the plastics if you like, but just going to go a little bit in the healthier options. There are things that we can do because imagine if all those things you're doing, even if you take the load off one at a time, healthy skincare products. That's even if you can't get 100% free, if you do something, and you cut out your Wi-Fi, you cut out wear natural clothing, get organic cotton and bamboo. And you I don't know what you can do with furniture stuff, but maybe not get the toxic ones to get real wood stuff. And then when it comes to pans and things in your use glass, use ceramic, but ceramic coating sometimes can come off, so you gotta be careful with that. And you know what Karina's using is stone for like we get the stone pots from the H Mart from the Korean store, and we make food from there. That's a good thing, right? In India, we have copper um, containers that we use, so you can, I don't know about copper pans, but we have copper like dishware. You get copper plates, copper bowls, copper cups. That's not heated. Copper is actually good for you. It's not bad for you in certain amounts, right?
Yeah. But I
So,
think like I saw a study that says like you cannot use copper for like cooking ware.
mhm,
It's
yeah.
probably it's good for like a cups, bowls since it like charges
Hmm.
whatever's in it, but I
Yeah.
guess heating up releases some type of toxin.
That makes sense because in India you won't find copper cookware, but you'll find it in the cups and things. But ceramic things work. Meaning like we have like clay pots, and we'll store water in there, and the minerals from the healthy clay leach out, which is actually good for you versus putting it in things that are coated with crap.
Mm.
And the water tastes so sweet when you drink it from the when it's rested in the clay pot. Um, let's see, and yeah, we use a lot of stone stuff. Um, these are things, and then glass is always good, but the problem is we always throw away the glass. In India they used to recycle glass a lot when I was young and I was there, and there's nothing wrong with recycled stuff, right?
Yeah, especially if it's glass, it's
Yeah.
gonna hold up pretty well. Um, it's not like plastic where you're leaching things every time you reuse it. It actually is pretty solid and is not going to contaminate anything.
Mm, makes sense. Yeah. So did you have something from that Pizarro article, or
Oh, so basically, this guy's saying that based on studies, they have identified 906 chemicals that have been assessed for toxicity,
Mhm.
and they said there might be another 3,377 with unknown toxicity.
wow?
Yeah. And it also said that the main guidance it could provide is out of any of the products that are available, avoid plastic containers as much as possible.
Yeah.
I guess you gotta get rid of your pink container then, Mike.
Hmm?
You gotta get rid of your pink plastic container that's sitting in my
Yeah.
house.
And what I kind of hate about like it's most glass containers like aren't truly glass because they always have on the lid like some sort of um, suction to like I guess
Yeah.
vacuum seal like not vacuum seal but kind of provide pressure to keep the lid on. And I feel that it's with whatever
And,
you get
and it's
some
always
type of
getting
plastic.
stuck.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well, you know the containers that I've got, right?
Which
Um,
the
the
glass
round
ones?
containers. Yeah, glass
Yeah,
ones.
that one has like a plastic lining on that too.
No, that's silicone.
Oh, silicone. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I seen in those they take that silicone off, and behind it it's like black mold sometimes.
Is it really?
Yeah,
But the
like
have you seen the glass containers I have? They're circle and they're white silicone, and even on the inside, it's just glass. It's not really. It never that
you
glass
know,
part
you
never
know
comes
how
off.
sometimes how it's like banded, like circle banded type of silicones.
Hmm.
If it's that like pushed in, then it might like grow mold inside. But if it's
Mold
like I
on
don't know,
it. It depends.
like a glue, then I don't know about that. If it's like vacuumed
It
behind.
has a ridge like this where it puts and it seals like the air.
Yeah. I mean, this one container, I don't think I found mold stuff in there. But you know what? I didn't think about it because if you do let it sit in certain ways, and you could probably, because you're right, because we have coffee cups and things, right? Even though they're stainless steel and in the certain plastic parts, which are really small, and they seem uninfected. But if the drink sits there and then you are cleaning it, it does grow moldy in those spots. So that makes sense. I mean, we'll have to look at it and see how it grows, you know. But silicone, glass containers with silicone, good silicone lids that don't get moldy, that's a good option. Um, Pans, God, cast iron pans and stainless steel pans. I know stainless steel pans, people complain are hard
It's just a skill
to
issue. I
Yeah,
mean,
I feel like one of the best skills you can learn is how to use a stainless steel pan.
yeah, and a cast iron pan. Yeah, I agree with that. They're both take skill because even a cast iron pan, you can. It's
Yeah,
hard sometimes not to
you gotta
be
take
able
care
to
of it.
use it.
So,
Yeah. So I think
and
those two are good.
with those ones, it really. I mean, I have less experience cooking with the stainless steel, but as far as the cast iron, the main concern is that you just have to keep it kind of oiled up most of the time. It's like
yeah,
if you keep the coating where it's like a shiny black, and it never really gets a pale chalky kind of a look to
rusty.
it, then yeah, then you'll be fine. Because if it does get like that, like Mike just said, it'll develop rust, and then now you have to go through a whole another cleaning process to refinish the pan, and it's not needed at all when you could just do one little, squirt some oil, do a little dab and rub here or there, and you're good to go. And
And
it's
what
supposed
about
to be
stone?
easy to clean.
How about
Stone,
stone?
I never cooked with stone before. I know Karina has these like pots, like Korean pots. I don't know what type of stone. It looks like a volcanic type of a
Mm.
stone, but I'm not really sure. But I know in Mexican culture they cook with volcanic rock. I don't know if it's like I don't know what you would call it, but they use that in their cookware.
I think Korea's was like granite or something. It was pretty heavy.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
pretty heavy.
Yeah. So maybe that's a good option. I'll look for this kind of thing because I liked it. I mean, it cooked really nice. I don't know if it's non-stick, but she made some bibimbap and it tastes pretty darn good, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
if it's a granite, granite has a non-stick property.
naturally.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if there's granite pans out there that I don't know where to
I
buy them.
think that's why you know those like musher cups that
Yeah, yeah,
mostly used
yeah.
in Mexican like
Mortar and pestle.
Mortar and pestle, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like in Georgia we used to have granite that thing.
Yeah, those. Yeah, we have some of those too.
So I
And
guess
then,
because it's like non-stick and they just put anything in it and mash it.
mm, no, that's an interesting option of kind of pans to use. I'm gonna have to look for those. They're probably pretty heavy, but
Yeah.
I'd rather use something healthier because I think in the back in the day, I know that in India, I don't know how it's like in Georgia, but in India, there's always like even if you're making bread, it's like you put a little metal grill and it's in a coal oven or something, or they're cooking it outside, and there's no stick or non-stick, and and the
Oh, what
oven
about the
is
tandoor pot?
tandoori.
The
Yeah,
yeah, that one is just you just slap it on the side of it
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah,
it unsticks when it's done cooking, and
and
you
it's
just
ceramic, right?
yeah, it's a like big, really large ceramic kind of oven. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, so much healthier than how we're cooking right now. The ovens we have, every single oven we have is lined with PFAs, lined with PFAs. So I have to the air fryers. You got to be careful because I got air fryers from Ninja. We had three different kinds, I think, and the first one Danny bought. He didn't realize it, but it had microplastics, lined with PFAs, and he spent all that money, and I threw it away.
Mhm.
And I looked up the right one and I got the right kind, and the ones that I got either were ceramic or they were stainless steel. But you gotta watch everything, look up every utensil you buy. One of the things you have to look at is like your blenders and things like that you process your food in. The blenders can have a plastic cup, you know. Um, there are measuring things that are they can be plastic. Yeah, your cutting boards these days are plastic cutting boards. You have to choose the right thing. Choose wood, choose ceramic, choose glass, choose stainless steel. Get rid of the microwaves and bad ways of heating items that you can end up with healthy food and not toxify yourself.
I
But
don't know. This is like a weird thought, but I was thinking like in Minecraft, like whatever basic materials you use in the game to make your food, it's like
Mhm.
the most basic things. Like you make a stone oven, you make a uh, I don't know other wooden things, and it's like so basic. I feel like
Yeah,
that game
you use
kind of relates like
wooden balls for mushroom soup.
yeah, it's like
really,
that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that game for like younger folks like kind of puts into perspective like what is like allowable and what's not because it's like you pretty much in the beginning using the most raw organic materials to cook, hunt, do all those things.
Yeah.
So whatever kind of falls into that realm um, is no different.
it's funny. You're not the first one that said that. I forget who I had the conversation with. It was your brother, your sister, same thing. about Minecraft and how simple it was, and it reminds them of that. But honestly, I mean, for us, this is very important for me. I don't know how I decided to do this series, but um, after doing the clothing series, I talked to my dad to see how we can get organic cotton, chemical free, like totally. I think it's GOTS certified, and that's another thing to remember is that a lot of these pans and things it can be certified 100%, 99%. I'll say whatever non-toxic, right? So you have to look at for the when you're buying items to be that certified by a thing. But what we're looking to do at Healing Your Way, and I want to end it on this, is to really find a way to bring healthy products and options to for everybody into their daily lives so they can start looking at things differently. So we're hoping to get clothing that is 100% organic cotton, processed organically, no chemicals or craps in it in any part of the processing. Cotton, bamboo, lyocell material. And I mean, after doing this cookware version, I'm gonna consider to look for how I can get, stone items that are non-toxic to use. I mean, why not? If you just buy one or two and you just like keep cleaning it properly instead of doing this method, maybe let's find ways that we can do this in our own houses and then provide it to the people that are our listeners and the people that come into our clinic, I would like to do that, to find solutions for people, not just tell them that problems exist, but I'd like to offer them solutions. So if you guys would like to come on Friday 6:30 and Levittown and come talk to us about it, we'd love to have you. If you guys have anything more to say before, and our friends at Oil Divine, if you use a promo code HYWBTG, you get a free item, you get free gifts at any purchase of $50 or more. So please go and use a promo code. They're all healthy, 100% non-toxic items in that store, and it's amazing because we'd love to promote people like this. So you guys have anything more to say before we end this?
Well, I guess be more mindful
Yeah.
about your surroundings and
Yeah, mindful.
like what you use.
Mm-hmm. And stick to the basics, and don't go for what's convenient, because I think that's where the trap is. What's convenient.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like this guy here. That's crazy. Just if you can sear this image in your mind, that's it, right? All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.